What mattered
But that
was
don't
what the
make her
white
black.
folks in the South. Yes, it did. As far as they were
No,
concerned,
they didn't.
anybody with dark skin was
Brenda,
black. They didn't
so
care.
do you realize her mom, when she put her own race down on the birth certificate, her mom's race was listed as Caucasian? Oh, I bet you didn't know that, huh?
That's why I keep trying to tell them, like, go ask the Indians themselves. You don't have to. We don't have to argue about it. Go find one of them Indians. You know what I'm saying, and ask them if they're black, and see how upset they get.
They had other options they could have chose. Let's say the options were Caucasian, Negro, and Indian or Native American. She could have checked Native American. She could have checked black because she claimed in the interview that she was going to raise Kamala and Maya as black, but she chose Caucasian.
Yeah, she had mixed parents, right?
No, the mama chose Caucasian as her own ethnicity on Kamala's birth certificate.
Kamala had mixed parents, right?
No, it's
What color was her father?
doesn't matter. She marked her mom marked her race as Caucasian as the parent.
Yes.
She is not Caucasian.
Barack Obama's mom was white too. So what?
What do you mean
black.
too? Yo.
Barack Obama's mom was white, wasn't she?
What universe are you living in? You love Kamala so much and you don't understand. Do you understand?
What color?
Her mom is from Bombay, India, Mumbai.
What color was Barack Obama's mother?
Irrelevant.
She's white, right? But he's still black.
How so?
Because that's how race works in America. If you look black, you're black. That's how people judge you. It doesn't have to be rational.
Are you insane?
It's not rational. It's not.
That's what I said earlier, right?
It's just how people judge you.
Sir.
Right? It's not right. I'm not saying it's right.
Sir.
I'm not saying it's ethical.
When my father was growing
any
up,
of those things. I'm saying that that's the judgment that people.
It's incorrect. When my father was growing up and going to school in the 60s, there were 3 races. There was Negro, there was the J word, and then there was white people, and then you had the occasional Puerto Rican, okay? People were not going to call her, you're insinuating like somehow it has a white ancestor. The white ancestor is actually on the father's side, but it is not one of her parents. It is a grandparent or a great grandparent. So what does Barack's mom have to do with this shit?
Did you understand? The point being is how people judge Barack Obama as black, even though he has a white mother. That's my point. You seem to not understand that. People, Kamala Harris is judged to be black because that's the majority of her heritage. She looks dark. She's a light-skinned black person in America, and in America, what's your point, Brenda?
Sir,
what's your point? America is very racist. It really is.
That has nothing to do with your inaccuracy. Her nose is straight as Cora's, and her hair is as straight as Cora's as well. She is obviously not even 50% black.
It doesn't matter. She's a light.
And she does not present as black either, Brenda.
She's identified.
I don't know who made you the admiral of freaking blackness, because you sound like a white dude. You sound like a white dude. This dude is in here trying to argue on what black is. And he's not even black.
That's liberal as fuck. You don't get any more liberal than that.
Exactly.
Isn't equality wonderful? Yeah. Right? Equality is wonderful.
Accuracy,
Black man.
accuracy
Hey, black
is
man,
wonderful.
You can't speak for yourself, black man. So I'm going to be a white liberal and speak for you
No,
because you're
we're
oppressed.
arguing. I'm arguing about how terrible America is and how racist it is.
You
It's
feel
so
And I'm trying to
racist.
tell you
that's
that
the thing. You feel that way. That's your
that
feelings. That is your feelings, man.
It's pretty. I mean, come on.
Yes, your
dude.
as
feelings.
racist as America is,
I mean,
you
like
call it
me, hold
racist.
on, me as a white man, like I'm not going out and harassing and killing every black man I see. And like just the audacity, that's what really gets me is these white people come out here speaking for black people. Like y'all don't got a voice.
Yes,
Do you know how
it's called
fucking
equality.
disrespectful that is?
Yeah,
Do you really know?
It's equality. It's
this is
equality.
this is the liberal
Oh,
mind.
praise the Lord!
That
Praise
is the
the
liberal
Lord
mindset.
for
They're
freedom
fucking
of speech.
retarded. These
Praise
are
the
black,
Lord for
these
freedom
are
of
black
speech.
Like we-
African Americans. These
Hold on a
are
minute.
black
Hey,
Americans.
Uncle, hold on a sec.
Regardless of what they are, they are
Uncle, hold on a
black
minute.
Americans. They have
Uncle,
a
hold on
voice
a
and
sec,
they can
bro.
speak for their own goddamn selves. Am I right?
Hold on a minute.
So-
Hold on a minute. Exactly. So let me speak real quick, right? It ain't even that. It's the fact that when we trying to talk, like you're talking over us, like as if like, nah, nigga, shut the fuck up. I got it. I'ma tell you. Right? Like it's okay for us to have the conversation, you know, with the whole equality that you're talking about, but you're not even trying to have the conversation. Like you stay off mute, right? You literally stay off mute and you're talking over like you just cutting in because you know better. You know better than the person. So that's why I
brother.
Oh, I was gonna say, man, because
No.
I've been on mute for a minute.
Yeah,
I just don't understand that. I don't understand that logic, man. That I just really don't. That we have a race here in the United States that's just so oppressed that we need uppity ass white people to go out and speak for them. This ain't 1920.
That's not what's happening.
Well, we got
That's not what
rappers out
happened.
here laying bars, dropping tracks, being millionaires.
Yeah, that's true.
Y'all folks want to keep that. Y'all liberals want to keep that race shit going
Because it still makes a difference.
It's not.
Your skin color
Over here I'd be
still makes a
blended with all
difference.
my black
It
neighbors.
makes a difference to the jobs and how much you make on average per year. It makes a difference in all of these things because there are still systems of
systematic racism. Come on. All right, I know that one. What else you
do
can
you
hit
think
me
that
with?
changes? Do you think it changes what an African American has to do with their daily life? Like, does it change anything with regards to what they have to do to be successful?
Yeah, you have to work harder. Yes, hustle more, right? In order to succeed in America.
Is that different? That if they hadn't had the history that they had, would that be any different? Like, does a person's history change the fact that you got to wake up and bust your ass to be successful?
To make a
and if
dollar,
you don't, you probably won't.
Yeah. You don't wake up with a silver spoon in your mouth like Trump.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go. I knew that's what it was all about.
So like a third generation white trailer trash, kid born of a meth head,
right?
But he's going to succeed whether he works or not, right?
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
He still gets a better break. He still gets a better break, right, than the black people in the county.
No, we don't.
Yeah, I do.
Bro.
No, white trash.
Hey, real quick. Once again, we know where the majority of black folks live. It ain't the people that you keep trying to point a finger at. It's you, Brenda. You guys, you liberals are the ones that run those cities.
That's what I'm trying to say.
What?
You liberals are the ones that run those cities, and you the ones doing all that discrimination.
Yep.
All the cities that the majority of black folks live in.
Chicago, Philadelphia,
Seattle.
all of those whites in that area are liberals.
Uh-huh.
So I don't understand. Who do you think you're
Why y'all do that to them black folks that live in Atlanta? Why y'all do that to them black folks that live in Detroit? Why y'all do that to the black folks that live in LA and in Campton and in Inglewood? Why y'all do that to them? Why you guys doing that to them? right?
Because
and why do you guys do it and keep pointing the figures at freaking Republicans that live all the way in freaking buckwheat,
Indiana,
Nebraska, planting corn and shit, and being like, no, it's those guys. No, it's you. You the one running that city.
Yep.
You the one
putting
racist
fucking.
Hold on 1 minute, bro. Hold on, I wasn't done yet. I'm not done yet. You the one putting them in San Quentin by the bucket loads. You the one putting them in Rikers Island by the bucket loads. Those cities are ran by liberals. Right. In Philadelphia, right? Not Philadelphia.
You're
in
right.
Minnesota.
You're right. You're right.
Who runs Minneapolis?
The judge who put Meek Mill in prison. Wait, the judge who put Meek Mill in prison, who was in Philadelphia, was appointed by a liberal white politician.
You're kind of dumb. So you're right. The GOP has worked tirelessly for civil rights in America. They love blacks, the GOP does. The GOP bends its back over to give every possible advantage to African Americans, and those nasty Democrats have done nothing but persecute the black man
it's like
in
you
America.
Treating the blacks like the Jews.
That's why African Americans vote 95% solid majority for Democrats.
Because they're fucking still on the plantation. They ain't woke up yet.
Year after year. And those poor GOP representatives who want nothing more than racial equality. They want nothing more than to lift up the poor black man. They're just
I got a question, Brenda.
by the evil Democrat.
I got a question.
Yeah, the evil
Brenda. Hold on 1 minute. I got a question.
Where did Klan come from?
Bruh, are you serious? If black folks vote for Democrats at a 90% clip, as you say, wouldn't that entail that it's Democrats that run the areas where black folks live? If they vote for them at a 90% clip, right? That would mean that they run the areas where black folks live. So if black folks are constantly complaining about discrimination and what the government is doing to them, how they locking them up, school to prison pipeline, wouldn't that entail that is the Democrats doing it? Because that's where they live and that's how they vote?
Have you seen how red America is?
Okay.
You show the counties.
We don't live there.
Yeah, logic would dictate
how red America is.
We don't live in the Midwest.
Red as it gets. Yes.
We don't live in Wichita, Kansas. We don't live, some of us, but we're not the majority in Minneapolis. We're the majority in Atlanta, where there's a bunch of Democrats and liberals.
Yeah, the poor Minneapolis, right, where the Republicans marched in favor of the protests here in Minneapolis, right? The GOP did that. The GOP was on the streets protesting, right, the murder of George Floyd. That was the GOP that did that, right?
Yeah, sure. It was a GOP that burnt everything the fuck down.
No, it wasn't. Don't be a clown. Stop clowning.
You're clowning.
Let me answer that. Let me answer that real quick. Let me answer that. Can I answer that real quick? You asked the question, so let me answer it real quick. So, no, because Minneapolis is ran by Democrats.
A Democratic GOP.
Hold on. Do you think that the Democrats are gonna hire Republican police commissioners to run the police department in Minneapolis where they choked out George Floyd? Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Gotcha.
There was a bad cop, and he was tried and convicted. Yeah, it was a terrible thing. There's a lot of endemic racism in the police.
His wife was a liberal.
Well, wasn't his wife? Wait. You mean Officer Step on the Neck? His wife, wasn't she Asian or something?
So he was tried and convicted, and there have been reforms in Minneapolis to try and police chief has been rehired, different people hired, right? And they're filling in places, right? So there have been consequences.
Has it worked? Has anything changed in Minneapolis?
That's not even the point. The point is all of these okay, Rodney King. When did that happen? Oh, that was
93.
LA.
Yeah.
Oh,
LA.
Jesus. Was that LA? Oh,
yeah.
Oh, George Floyd. Where did that happen? In a Democrat-run city, man, it's all Democrats doing all this shit. Like, I don't know when y'all gonna stop pretending like y'all ain't the racists. It's y'all. Y'all the racists. That's the point. Not the whether or not y'all punish him or not. You know what I'm saying? More than likely, Derek Chauvin was a freaking Democrat because he was in Minneapolis, and you know they like all their racist friends to be running shit.
And they
run everything.
Unions. They love their union.
Hey, I got a question. Why is it that the top 25 most gentrified cities in America are all liberal and Democrat? I'm gonna post a link. There's several studies.
Yeah, that's just guilt by association.
No, it's not guilt. If you understand, hold up. If you understand gentrification in liberal Democrat cities, it displaces Black and brown people out of the cities into health and food deserts, into more systemic oppression. This is happening. This is the work I do. I've traveled all over, and this is what is going on. You can't say it's not Democrat or liberal when the most gentrified cities in America are Democrat and liberal. It's a fact.
Yeah. Is it true that the GOP is known for the social policies that they want to pass to help enable
the social policies of gentrified cities run by Democrats is Democrats doing the policy. The Republicans are not in power in them cities.
So is it true that GOP, right? Is it true that the GOP wants to pass social policies to help lift up and help the economic plight of African Americans? No,
we don't need social welfare or policies. We need reduced taxes and move out of our way. Like stop using the help. Y'all are just using the government to give us a crutch on purpose. This is why our baby mama rate is out of control, because you deliberately introduce social welfares to incentivize women to rely on the fucking government.
Fuck. There goes some facts.
So if you're white or black, whatever color you are, if you are poor, you need help from the government.
No, you don't.
You don't need help. You need to stop having children. That's what you need.
Start thinking logically. So what you're saying is if you're poor, then big dick daddy government is the only one that can help me. Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying that yes, you need help from the government. There's nothing wrong with
No,
hold on, wait, gentlemen, ladies, anybody else on the panel? I'm 49 years old. I'll be 50. Okay. I have worked jobs that were $6.15 an hour and did not qualify for food stamps. My wife worked 60 hours a week for $7.25 and did not qualify for health care benefits. So
did you guys?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
So I was just going to ask, did you guys go to public high school?
What would that matter?
I'm just asking if you went to public high school.
She went. Yeah, I went to public schools. She went to a public school, but in a better neighborhood.
So that's the government.
Let me ask look, we're not gonna do
that's compulsory.
Okay? So would you be better off? Would you be better off if there was like universal health care so that you could not be impoverished?
I don't need none of that shit because we're fine. We're doing good. I didn't need any of big dick daddy governments.
None of that shit
because I didn't qualify for it, first of all. And as soon as you do qualify for it, once you get it in your hands and you get up a little one step up, they kick you right the fuck off it. So a lot of times it's better for you not to even go after those government benefits and just work the shit on your own.
Yeah, Democrats would like to make that better so that you're eased off and not
who's gonna pay for it?
Yeah, who's gonna fucking pay for that?
We can pay it. America can pay for it.
Who? Not we. Not we. Who?
Oh,
We.
When you
America.
say we.
No, notice.
Everybody.
Okay,
I think the rest of the world should pay for it. I think America should stop wasting money protecting fucking countries like Canada and the Europe so they get free health care. And I think we should take that military money, cut the military budget by like 90%, and get free health care, free university for Americans, and fuck those Canadians. Fuck those Europeans with their free health care. Because they're not spending the military. Let them face the repercussions of underspending in their military. And fuck them with their free health.
Where they fucked up is they reward people for doing absolutely nothing in life by giving them health care and everything. But when you try to do something in life by trying to take that one step and, hey, all you could land was a minimum fucking wage job, they cut your shit off and they penalize you for trying in life. That's where they fucked up.
That's what I'm trying to get at.
Let me tell Brenda something.
Viable for most of us.
Wait. Let me tell Brenda something. So hold on, Brenda. My sister, hold on. So I have
hold on.
My sister, she is currently abusing the New York public benefit system. She quit her job without another job lined up. So I said, how are you going to pay rent? They said your rent is based off your income. If you have zero income, you pay $25 a month in rent. So obviously that also includes voluntary resignation, which is a complete fraud. Like, she did not get laid off. She did not get fired. She did not get constructively discharged. She left on her own volition. And this is how, again, this is what our tax dollars are paying for, is fraud and abuse of these systems. Just remove all of these benefits and let these people starve and die. That is what we need.
None of what he just said is true. None of what he said is true. Guys,
I mean, now I do agree with that.
Do not believe. Do not believe. No, that's not happening.
Can we have one mic on 10 and then Brenda and then I'll go?
Yeah, thank you very much. None of what he just said is true. Their abuses, the abuses are more towards corporate America. Those are where the abuses are. Like, for example, your price gouging you, right? Things are costing more, and they are getting tax breaks from the federal government for doing it. That is where the fraud is going. So the little small man who's trying to get their leg up, right, on welfare programs, they have to apply for these welfare programs every year. You understand me? And they have to prove certain things in order to get these welfare programs. It's not easy. I know people on it, right?
Thank you, because I just explained to him exactly that is simply not true. We have migrants entering this country who are receiving almost $10,000 in housing vouchers, transportation vouchers for Uber, even discount coupons for Uber Eats, free phones, they're paying their Metro PCS phone bill in Chicago, all of these different benefits. And so both illegals and American citizens who have gained the system for decades, again, this is where all the money is going. It's not going towards people who are trying to get up, because Uncle already described what happens as soon as you make $15 an hour. They're like, all right, all your benefits are removed. So what the fuck is the point? Don't give it to begin with, and instead cut the taxes so that they can put money aside for a rainy day.
So Nino and Uncle, can I ask you guys something? Like, if you guys are, oh, sorry, Drew. No, go ahead, Drew.
No, I'm after Uncle. I think Uncle was next. Uncle, yeah,
I'm sorry, Uncle. Go ahead, man. I apologize.
No worries. No, I just getting asked a question. Because my whole thought process was like 2 conversations ago.
Let me just say this real quick. Guys, if you don't want to listen to an opposing point of view, guys, just
you lie. That's the problem. You fucking lie. Okay. I don't know where you live at the moment, Gary. Do you live in a major liberal city now?
Just say you don't want an opposing point of view. Just say
where do you live?
Right? Just say it. Just say
where do you live?
Don't say you don't.
Are you in Chicago? Are you in Detroit? Are you in New York?
Just say it, brother. Just say it.
Are you in a liberal city?
Just answer my question. Do you want an opposing point of view? Yes or no? Okay,
again.
Good. So that's the deal.
Where do you live?
That's the deal. This is the problem with Clubhouse. Many people can't take opposing point of view.
It's just he just refuses to answer a direct question.
Dan is such a liar. Most people think a great God is gonna come from the sky and take away everything and make everybody feel high. But if you know what your life is worth, you will seek it here.
Let's just continue with the queue then. Let's just
vote
continue
for
with the
Trump
queue.
and go to the gym, fatties.
Oh, wow.
Sorry, go ahead, Uncle. I'll take you right next.
Who's up next?
Let me ask you this, okay? All right. So early in the conversation, it was said, Nino said, just let them curl up and die and wither away. Okay. So do you mean to tell me here in the United States?
You're a liar too, Uncle. Stop it, you liar. You're a liar. Vote Trump.
Oh, you crazy bastard. Who do you think you're talking to? I come over there and beat you with me, shillelagh. Anyway, he fucked up my train of thought again. All right. So look, nobody should, in this country, nobody should
shut your mouth, you lying white trash. Vote Trump and go to the gym, fat.
Thank you. With the charity that we have here in the United States, church organizations, philanthropic, whatever that word is, philanthropic organizations.
Philanthropic.
Thank you. Okay, look, I was public school educated, so I got a problem with big words.
Don't cut the legs out of my argument.
So that's what I'm saying. So like here in the States, I mean, we giving and donating and shit. So in all reality, is there really a need for a public assistance system? In all honesty,
I mean, again, there's too many children and not enough jobs, in my opinion.
Okay.
All these, so I still work in corporate America, and I see these executives. They're getting out their spreadsheets and they're like, how can we automate all of this shit with AI so that we don't have to hire 200 new grads next year? So at the end of the day, my opinion is this. I don't agree with Elon Musk. He's completely out of control. He's disconnected. He's like, there's not enough kids. I'm like, there's not enough fucking jobs. They're looking. There's been 1 million corporate layoffs the past 5 years since the pandemic. So there's plenty of Uber Eats jobs. There are not enough jobs that pay $75K plus. All of those,
right.
They're trying to automate that shit, especially the entry level. Nobody knows what these kids who just graduated during COVID are supposed to do for the next 25, 30 years. Like, so at the end of the day, we need to stop having kids. We need to stop importing illegal immigrants into this country because there's not going to be enough jobs. They're trying to automate everything.
And I can see where you're coming from, Nino. I mean, I had a customer that I worked for in Indiana, okay? And a large financial company took up 2 blocks. Well, probably about 3 months before the pandemic actually started, they took all their shit out of one building and moved into the other building, okay? And continued operations. Once the pandemic hit, the building now is currently only 3 departments are in 2 parts of this building, which only occupy the first 3 levels of the original building. They have a tower that has 8 more floors. It's completely vacant because they realize that it's easier to automate and have these people work from home and do things online and over the internet as opposed to coming into the office.
But what I hear both of you saying is that, like, these advancements have some. Juju, you keep fucking getting cut off, man. Stop.
Dude, no, the goalpost has moved so far from where we were talking about the fucking assistance and how people were abusing it. We're getting into something else, which is fine by all means, but I'm just gonna go on mute and I'll wait. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. The reason it's being brought up is there's different facets of this that are affecting it. You know, it's like kind of like what Nino's saying. Well, what are we gonna do with the workforce out there that has no jobs? We can't all put them on welfare, and that's some gripes of some of the other folks on the board.
They won't even qualify. They won't even qualify for welfare because they've worked enough in their past that they won't qualify for welfare because they get assistance through EDD. You still make too much money, even on unemployment, to qualify for welfare.
Yeah.
You gave the effort in life to try to do better and you fell on hard times. Therefore, you don't get the assistance that's needed. And then EDD, you know what I'm saying, it takes forever or whatever. You know what I mean? But they have they do have emergency welfare for those who ain't trying to do shit in life and those who stepped over the border yesterday.
And that's
you know
what I'm saying. And I feel where you're coming from because I lived it. That's the experience that I had. I was down on my luck. Things happen in life. I was making $6.25 an hour, and they said I make too much money. Motherfucker, I could barely afford a bus pass. What are you talking
about? And what everybody's talking, I'm hearing you guys say about phones and like and Uber Eats and shit like that. Like yeah, I mean, I totally feel that 100%. But like, can we get to the thicker part of it? You know what I'm saying? Healthcare, schooling, housing. That shit costs so much money, and none of us have fucking qualified for it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because you worked at whatever little job that you can find to try to better yourself. And then you're homeless now, but you don't qualify because you get $75 a day on EDD or some shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, I just want to understand, are you for or against free healthcare and free education?
I'm against it. I'm against it.
It sounded like you were for it.
Well, no, because people, if there was a way to really be able to filter the people who need it and who want to give effort in life to use it, then there's a way to do it. But the system is so fucked and it's being so abused, and that the people who need to use it or really truly want to use it, they can't get to it. You know what I'm saying? Because
can you give me an example in healthcare of that, like of people who shouldn't deserve low cost healthcare?
People that come here just for it, like they come just for healthcare, they come just for that, but they don't want to try. Sorry, I didn't
mean illegal immigrants. I mean American citizens. Can you give an example of an American citizen who shouldn't have access to free healthcare?
Someone who wants to lay in bed, not necessarily in bed. Let's just say someone who doesn't want to better their health in general when they have the option to. You know what I'm saying? When you choose to just either be a junkie, abuse drugs because you don't want to fucking, excuse me, but you don't want to do good for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Somebody who
bad people,
like people who want to choose to put themselves in that position.
Like fat people.
I guess, you know what I mean? If they want to choose to eat McDonald's because they're getting it for free through the government instead of eating good when they can get the same food for free.
Okay, so and again, I'm just trying to understand. So the people who should have access to free healthcare are the healthy people who take care of themselves and don't let their bodies go to shit.
No, it's people who choose to be unhealthy and don't want to do nothing to do better for themselves.
Okay, so and let me ask you this thing because I'm genuinely curious. Like, I think everyone here is cool with free elementary school. I think public elementary school, public high school. If you could have the same public university, like high quality public university, but you could only qualify if you got the grades and put in the work and busted your ass, would you be for that? And if not, I'm curious to understand, like, because I think that would be really beneficial to America on so many fronts. But if you're against it, I'm just curious why you'd be against that.
No, absolutely for that. Absolutely for that. I mean, if it's free and you got people who come in here, like even immigrants, whatever, come in the right way so that way you can qualify for the school system. And then, you know what I'm saying? Like, whatever, it doesn't matter. Just be registered as so that way you're recognized as, even if you give them the process of becoming legalized. You know what I'm saying? Make it so they can actually do it without being scared of doing it, so they can be a productive person of society. By even if they bring their children, like that's what a lot of immigrants do. They come in illegally, but then they put their children through the free schooling, and then next thing you know, they're freaking better educated people than people who were born here. You know what I'm saying? And they're very productive, and they help society in general. You know what I'm saying? They become doctors and stuff like that. But I'm for it. I'm for it. You know what I mean? Especially with the college and stuff like that. But there's just, there's just right ways and wrong ways of doing shit, and they just make it so easy. Like, see, the people that want free healthcare that sit in bed, they're not utilizing that. You know what I mean? They're utilizing the free housing and just like the free food and shit and being lazy, and you know what I mean? It's like you're almost talking about two different types of people.
No, I guess the way I look at it is I think social safety nets, and remember what a social safety net is it catches those who fall to the bottom, right? And it prevents them from having to steal in order to eat or be able to feed their kids, right? And I agree, there's always going to be abuse of that system. So I guess, for me, the idea that we should stop having kids because there's not enough jobs and stop AI and bring back shitty jobs like clothing manufacturing and coal mining, like bring those jobs back to America. What I hear is let's bring shitty jobs back to this wealthy nation, right? When this wealthy nation has created the innovations that have made the top companies in the world American. Right. And there's a reason we got rid of those shitty jobs was because the other countries want those shitty jobs because they're happy to do it for 30 cents an hour. You know what I mean? And so like, I don't think a wealthy nation should take offense with innovating and creating new technologies and new industries. Like, I think that's net good.
But the reason we have to bring back some of those shitty jobs is because the energy independence. We have to become energy independent, and we have to become more isolationist. So I forget who it was that said we need to cut the military budget, but that goes in hand with being energy independent. We need not everybody's going to be able to get a college degree. Not everybody's going to be able to code or be, operate at a high intellectual capability. So those jobs should be available, especially if we want to continue letting legal immigrants come in this country. Okay, fine, let them do it, but it should not be at the expense of the American the American citizen unemployment rate should not be above a certain amount. Basically illegals, or people on asylum and who have temporary status should not have a higher employment rate than American citizens. But somebody didn't believe me when I said 16 to 21-year-olds in New York City have an unemployment rate of 21%. In the meantime, the illegals have an unemployment rate of probably like 7%. Why the fuck is that the case? Like these kids should be getting the jobs and the apprenticeships first.
Yeah, I'll take it. Sorry, did you go ahead answer that? Or
those quote like unquote shitty jobs, like they shouldn't even be considered shitty jobs. They should be jobs in general. You know what I'm saying? Like there's the United States has such a vast majority of people who are like educated, uneducated, that might be the best they can get, but yet they will be holding a job. You know what I'm saying? Instead of sitting on welfare. That's where like people just start like you guys like we need that shit as much as we don't want. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I guess like picking rice for like 18 hours a day in the boiling sun is a shitty job. It's a shitty way to spend 80% of your life. But China did that, like the majority of Chinese did that shit for centuries. And now, and then they made shitty technology, then they made clothes, and now they make good technology and cars, and their salaries went up. And now Vietnam makes clothes, and you know what I mean? Like, and all these nations start rising with wealth. And due to your comment, the reason why you're saying, hey, we need these shitty jobs because we have uneducated people who never got a chance to raise you don't keep shitty jobs for them. Just educate the people, give them the chance to rise up and pull themselves up, right? Like I think wealthy nations, and I'll give a great example. Like in Canada, if you go to Tim Hortons, which is like our Dunkin' Donuts, you can't get served by someone who's a non-Indian. It's almost like 90% Indian. None of them are illegal immigrants. None of them have a right to citizenship. We just bring them in on temporary visas to take jobs that are hard to fill because Canadians are we're a wealthy nation, and most of us don't want to work at Tim Hortons. And that's okay. Like, that's a good way to do things. And that's what I mean. Like, there are shitty jobs. Like, most jobs are shitty.
Yeah, I feel that. That's okay. I mean, the reason why I say is because I have a lot of friends that can't catch a break, whether they're uneducated or they have a bad record because they're criminals or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like they cannot catch a break. They would love to go work in a fucking field just to get a paycheck because they just can't catch a break. And they can't get welfare either because they're single men with no kids. You know what I mean? Or they can't, you know what I mean? They can't catch a break. Like, but then again, but then also too, though, I mean, let me just I guess I'm kind of debating with myself. A lot of those fucking guys wouldn't take them jobs.
I guess that's kind of what I'm saying, right? And so, like, and actually, I'm curious, Nino and Uncle, what you guys think about this. I think the fastest way to solve the immigration issue in the southern border would be to create a website where you can get a temporary work visa for $150, and it gives you a 6-month work visa, but you can only work for a job where they've proven that they tried to hire Americans, but Americans didn't want it. And then that employer can then hire these folks for 6 months. They have to pay taxes, no access to wealth care, very limited access to social programs, and no path to citizenship. I think that would solve illegal immigration so much faster than any wall would. Like, who would pay a coyote $10,000?
I totally agree with that, but they need a path to citizenship. Otherwise, they get stuck. No, they stay here illegally.
No,
because they're not going to leave.
But here's the thing, Juju. The reason they don't leave is because they paid a coyote $10,000 to get here. Of course they're not going to leave. But if they can go and come back, do you think they want to fucking hang out here? No, they want to hang out and have fucking tacos and hang out with their family and go back whenever they can.
Yeah, that's true.
Tacos.
That was what I said.
Yeah, I just don't think they will leave, dude. Because a lot of them come over here on temporary visas and they just don't leave.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure once they get in here, they're in here. If they trying to get in here, then they have an easy way. They're gonna do that.
That whole system that you said to put in place would be freaking awesome. You know what I mean? Like, make it easy enough that they can do it the right way, but make it strict enough that they have to obey a certain procedure.
100%. Pay taxes.
And don't just hand everything. Like, don't hand everything. Like, you got to keep a little something for you know what I mean?
I say keep them handcuffed, right, for like a year.
And we'll give them all day social security number.
Look, yeah, I'm very dystopian, and I don't feel like those systems are going to be enforced correctly. This is why I say we need some sort of reset. I'm not saying stop AI. You could keep the technology going, but we got to take a hard look in the mirror and really ask ourselves, how many humans do we really need now that all of this, they got the Tesla robot coming, the Amazon dog robot.
I think everybody should reproduce. Everybody should procreate.
What do we really need? 1 billion Indians and 1 billion Chinese, and are there enough software developer jobs again that pay a good wage for them? The answer is probably no. And that's why.
Why are you stuck with software and AI jobs? Like, that's the only jobs in the world. I mean, there's millions of other jobs.
Well, if you think about it, they're transitioning to technology with every sector, dude. Like, I mean, the only thing that's really going to be safe is labor.
Who's going to build that technology? Who's going to build that building? It's still going to need some things that are still going to require physical stuff to do that. Yeah, you're going to have to build those robots. You're still going to have to build. Humans are still going to always have to build.
And that's going to be where the Mexicans come in.
Yeah, you just build the next LLM. You just go to the Home Depot. You say, I need 18 C++ developers. Sí, señor. It's bueno, very good.
Sure, will be the only thing that's safe.
But seriously, when you look at the invention of cars, right, and how within like 2 or 3 years it wiped out an entire industry of looking after horses, shoveling shit, horseshoes, dealing with horse corpses. Like, there was an entire industry that was wiped out within a couple of years when cars were invented. And this is the interesting point to your point is that back when the Industrial Revolution took place in the UK, the Queen of England, it wasn't like the technology existed for like 200 years before it was adopted by the UK. And the reason why was because the Queen at the time, or the King, refused to allow that technology in the UK because they knew the employment impact of letting that technology in. So they literally put it off for 200 years before that Industrial Revolution happened.
Right. You gotta examine, okay, how many jobs is this going to kill? And if the technology is too quick, you're not going to be able to reskill and catch up in time. This is why all these employers are complaining about a skills gap. Like, like the shit just shot 50 years ahead of trajectory. Like, what the fuck do you expect? And then they don't want to train the kids to catch them up. And then they're firing the Gen Zers left and right. So to me, the simple solution in the interim is, listen, we shot 50 years ahead. We need to stop having children for at least 10 10 to 15 years to allow the training to catch up if you don't want to pay out all this universal basic income.
So here's a random thought. You know how you say like that we're worried about the jobs and whatnot, but at the same time we talk about our kids not going outside and playing anymore and being socially active and whatnot. Like they get their social from school. So are we doing our kids a favor by allowing them to become PC gamers and sitting in the room all day, because that's kind of where the workforce is going towards, like technology, and them being able to know how to work that laptop better than someone else who went outside and played all day?
Oh,
yeah. They might not have a choice.
Yeah, I thought you were going two ways with that, because one is the reason we don't let them play outside because there's no social safety nets and they're going to get kidnapped and raped, or is the other way you're going with that was like, hey, is the way that they interact with folks today online a detriment to actually interacting in real life? And like, I'll be super quick with this anecdote, but there's this amazing documentary of this kid that was born with a muscle degenerate disease, uncurable, and couldn't move around, couldn't talk much, but played World of Warcraft. And there's a documentary that came out. He died when he was 25. And his parents were like, oh, we were worried he's not having real life experiences. He spends so much time online. And then when he dies at 25, the parents are getting all these emails from all around the world, thousands of people being like, oh, my condolences. This guy fucking changed my life. We had so many good times. And because it was all stored on the World of Warcraft server, they were able to go back and like get recordings of this kid's entire life online. And there were like literally hundreds of people. And they actually went to those people in real life and interviewed them, and who talked like, hey, this guy fucking changed my life. I was having the shittiest time, and he fucking said this shit to me. And so it goes through and documents this kid's entire life. And when he died, there were these massive funerals in World of Warcraft with thousands of people. It's fucking crazy. Amazing story. Sorry to derail.
No, that's an excellent
fucking Canadians.
That's an excellent point, because a lot of these, especially the boomers, but even the older Gen Xers, they don't realize how this new streamer, I guess you could call it the streamer influencer economy, is essentially going to be a future, because if the only value that a human can provide that is not super technical is content and creativity and entertainment, then at the end of the day, these kids are going to have to learn how to do that at a young age to provide some sort of entertainment or comic relief value to their peers. Otherwise, they're not going to be able to put food on the table, essentially.
Yeah, that's why. For me, Neil, that's why AGI, I think it is like 100 times more terrifying than AI. Right, like AI, which is what we have today, can basically take the sum of human knowledge and predict really well, the what comes next, and based on the sum of human knowledge. AGI or AIG, I can't remember what it is. Basically, is the next step where instead of just being able to bring up something that some human has said somewhere, AGI is able to create new concepts, is able to take the sum of human knowledge and then create new ideas, new technologies, new concepts. That's what's coming, and that is what is going to be terrifying, fascinating. I don't know what the right word is.
I think yes, but that could be 100 years away, because the problem is this: it's not just the weird AI googly eyes. I don't know if you've tried to make like videos with AI that it's still not like can't last more than 5 seconds without like warping out of control. So in terms of creating the full immersive experience, I don't know if it's going to be there in our lifetimes. It will be maybe in the next 100 years, but in terms of the immediate, the problem is the immediate economic impact is you have private employers who are overestimating that timeline and saying, oh, by the time, in the next 25 years, it's going to be fully ready to create immersive experiences, create just, different, like say, create a whole marketing plan, execute a marketing campaign, do all sorts of, create a multi video series or entire stories of content. And I'm like, it's just not there yet in terms of the human entertainment value and then just like, literally doing everyone's quote unquote corporate job. It's not there yet, but they think it's there. So now they're like I said, firing all these kids. And they're like, okay, we're just going to bide our time for 5 years, and magically ChatGPT 11 is going to be able to do all this stuff.
Well, I think for me, these jobs are going to be shifting, right? Like even if you look at coders or developers, code and developing is just using a different language to describe something, right? So that's evolved over years from being very like granular, like C language, all the way up to developer languages today, which are way easier, right? And now we're getting to where it's going to be prompt engineering, where you just need to be really good at describing the outcome you want, and then the actual code will be produced by AI. But if you step out of like the Western world, think about what it means for like the rest of the world. And going back to what we were talking about with education, anyone in the world with a $50 tablet and access to internet can now have the best professor in the world teach them anything they need to know from kindergarten to becoming a doctor, and be better than most professors in paid universities and schools today. You can literally get that today for free with a $40 tablet and access to the internet. So when it comes to like the world's access to knowledge and information and what it's going to do for humanity and accelerating us forward, I think it's fascinating. I know people in AI like really high up who for them that is the most exciting thing about AI. Shut the fuck up, dude. Don't ask AI to do it. It's going to say Jeremy's wrong.
All I'll say is if you want to be future proof, learn some real skills like growing food and building shit.
But even building shit doesn't even really work that much anymore. I mean, you have to survive. Those are survival skills, yeah, but future proof, I wouldn't say building shit, because I mean everything's transitioning to a plug and play. Like, it's not really a wrench kind of situation as much as it is like fasteners. You know what I mean?
I'm talking about going out in the forest, felling trees, and building a fucking house.
No,
because I was going to say there's a bunch of like seasonal Mexican workers who are like, did Cora really say you have to learn how to build to grow your own vegetables? That's not to future-proof yourself. And by the way, my Mexican accent is horrible. I apologize.
There's so many people that don't know this shit.
Day-Day's not
it's
Mexican,
like just
no.
really basic shit, like survival. Like, Juju, if you have a bunch of extra vegetables, like more than you can eat, but you know you're going to need food later, right? When you can't grow more vegetables, how do you preserve those vegetables?
Pickle.
You gotta freeze them or can them or something.
You don't have electricity.
Sorry, can you say the question again, Cora?
Huh?
Can you say the question again?
If you have a bunch of vegetables, right, and you know you need to save some of them for later, because there's a hell of a lot more than you can eat right now. And you'll need them like later in the year, winter or whatever, when you can't grow vegetables. How do you preserve them?
I would say cook and can them or pickle them.
Yeah, it's a pickle them, but I don't know how much vinegar we got.
You don't need vinegar to pickle.
Not
All you
bad.
need is salt.
I'm not surviving then.
Yeah. So the dill pickles you eat at the store are not pickled with vinegar. They're lacto-fermented, right? You can do this with any kind of vegetable. Kimchi is a lacto-fermented product, right? This is the easiest way to preserve vegetables. You chop them up, you salt them while they're dry, right? You let them sit for about 24 hours in the salt, and a lot of salt, rinse them off, pack them in a jar, fill the jar up with water, put a loose lid on it, let it ferment in a dark place for, I don't know, about a week, right? You'll be able to tell. And then you can you hot water bath can it for longer keeping. That is the most effective way to do it. The reason why is because most people, if you don't have access to vinegar, first of all, it's easy to make vinegar, so whatever. but it's really hard to eat that much vinegar, and lacto-fermented vegetables are actually good for you. They help your gut biome and all of that, whereas eating vinegar is just going to eat a hole in your stomach. So sauerkraut's another lacto-fermented vegetable. Anyway, so the reason why you do that is because most people, when they can, don't realize that you have to do things to prevent botulinum toxin from building up in the anaerobic environment. So that's one easy way to do it. So, yeah.
So I'm going to go and just survive by stealing your canned goods.
No, you're going to survive by buying Big Macs at McDonald's that have pickles from Cora's.
I'm going to go buy Big Macs with my EBT card.
But again, that's where that's where I always struggle with folks who are really against social safety nets and social programs. And especially because those folks tend to be the same folks who are really, really against the idea of dramatically cutting the military budget.
I think the problem is just, for me personally, you have to have. I like the Japan model because they if they decide to do something and go in a sustainable direction, they're all going to do it. In America, we're too individualistic. Everybody's going to go in 300 different directions, and you can't really. There are communities like prepping communities and stuff like that, but the scale, in my opinion, that's needed is just not there, and that's my problem with just trying to figure out, okay, how do we deal with this I guess you could call over technologicalization, or get back to some of our natural ways to get healthier. It's like you can't get the culture to change.
Well, that's interesting, because I thought you were going somewhere totally different. Because when I heard the Japanese way, what I thought you meant was despite being one of the smallest nations with a tiny population, become one of the top economic forces in the world by spending nothing on your military, having another country take care of 100% of your military spending, and then use all those savings to invest in your country to become a dominant technological and economic force. But then you went a different way, which is which I didn't expect, which is hey, Japan is super unified, right? And so because of that, they can accomplish a lot of things, which I thought was also interesting, because Russia and China spend shitloads of money on driving a divide between the right and the left, and yet the right and the left fight viciously against each other, not understanding that by doing so, they're actually pawns of Russia and China, which I think is kind of ironic. So, but man, I went all over the place, and then you landed on burgers and health. So I couldn't even keep up right to the end.
I honestly think we need to institute civil service like we have in European countries. If kids aren't getting employed, we can give them stipends and put them to work and at least feed them and house them. And there are things we need to do. I'm talking WPA era stuff, we need to go out and reforest. We need to do all of these things to ensure that we have food in the future. It's crazy. People don't realize how much we've depleted the soil, how much we've deforested the planet, and how much that has resulted in the fisheries dying off too, because the ocean is losing acidity. So it's wild.
Corey, do you think we have a food problem, or do you think we have an energy conversion problem?
I think we have both. It used to be it was just distribution, but I think now it's getting to the point where we might actually start experiencing famine conditions because of over farming, and soil depletion. It's already showing up in our food now. Most people should probably be taking magnesium supplements because there's just no magnesium left in the soil. So that kind of thing, So yeah.
Yeah.
So good, Nick.
Oh, so one thing is I started to eat these indoor. I have to look at the label again. They are indoor grown vegetables in, I forgot what the fuck, the Hordo, like the hothouse, like nearby.
Yeah, horticultural, like agroponics, or I'm not saying.
Yeah,
right.
agroponics. I've started to try some of those. I think the problem is it's kind of weird because, okay, they grow it out in nature, but to your point, the soil is so depleted. They basically have to make an artificial farm that is on top of farmland that is in controlled conditions, and they basically supplement the artificial soil with all the magnesium and the nutrients that the plant needs. And they have to essentially synthesize it. So they're out in nature, but they're still kind of doing it not synthetically, if that makes sense, because they just they don't want to actually reinvigorate the land. And I don't know why that's just so difficult for Americans to do. It's like we just want to build on top of the shit instead of restoring it to how it was before.
I mean, we used to have this problem when man first started like moving away from hunter gatherer, right, and started like farming. We had this problem where we realized like shit, after like 4 years of farming our shit, we can't grow there anymore. And the Native Americans solved that by having kind of the 3 sister crops and doing crop rotation. And then there was a guy that won the Nobel Prize when he synthesized fertilizer, which has literally resulted in billions of people being able to eat today when we couldn't have done that before fertilizer was able to be synthesized. And so what you're talking about, like aeroponics and hydroponics, like I think all of those things could scale up the food production on the planet 10x if needed. The restraint is our ability to have access to excess, cheap, clean energy, right? So I think because when you unlock that unlocks access to minerals, access to clean water, access to clean air. Like if you unlock that, then all of a sudden all these other things get solved very quickly, I think.
Well, I mean, most fertilizers, especially on factory farms, are petroleum based, so that's an issue too. That relies on oil production in some way, shape, or form. There are farming methods. First of all, farms, like farmland, is far more productive if you do small scale farming. You get like a 10-time yield per acre, 10 times the yield per acre. Secondly, there are farming methods that they require some knowledge. They require more than driving a tractor around, and laying irrigation pipes. You have to learn how to rotate crops, to use animals to replenish the soil, to use cover crops to replenish the soil. So there's all sorts of regenerative farming methods that if we scaled down agriculture, we could have more farmers, so they'd have something to do, right? We would get better yields, and we would be replenishing the soil as we go. So that's really the way we should be doing it. Factory farming is just not the way. It's just not. And then I talk about reforestation. The other thing with reforestation is it allows for foraging. So, people can talk about being preppers, but you can only be a prepper as much as you can store stuff that you can buy from the store in most cases. Some people are able to can, that type of thing, but they're still, unless they're like hardcore homesteaders, they're still going to the store to buy things in bulk to can it and stuff like that. So it's, this is like, I'm talking like a full scale. Yeah, it is kind of a cultural change. We can maintain our cities as innovation and cultural centers. It's the place you go to get educated. It's the place you go to, work in specific innovative industries or tech industries, things like that. But, I think most of us should just go back to the fucking land, like if AI is going to take all of our data entry jobs, why not? That's just kind of how it is. And get some chickens, get some animals that eat grass and poop, and just go out, plant a cover crop, let the pooping animals eat it. Let the chickens eat the flies out of the poop and poop more nitrogen rich poop on the soil, till it under and grow something. That's how you do it. So.
I so rarely disagree with you, Cora. Like it's such a rare occasion that I will disagree with you. But and where I will actually agree with you is, yeah, everyone should be able to pick up some skills to be able to survive if shit goes down, right? Like I 100% agree with that. But where I disagree, the idea of like, hey, we should move away from factory farming, which the current factory farming, 100% right. It's trash. It's evil. It's horrible. Shouldn't exist in its current state. But the idea of going back to the way it was for me is the same thing as saying, hey, bring back those shitty coal jobs. Yeah, I said it, Juju. Shitty coal jobs. and for and the reason why I say that is that I've seen and I agree, like farmers are masters at their art, but I've seen a 5th generation cow farm that has used technology to radically improve the cow's life and dramatically drop the number of people who are needed on that farm. And as a result, that 5th generation family farm has been able to not only survive, but become profitable because of the innovations they've put in. So the result was like better quality of life for the cattle, less cost for the owners, and less, people that need to run that farm, which made that family farm way more competitive against the big farmers that they're competing, or big farm that they're competing against.
But I mean, have you ever and this is kind of like something that started small and scaled up, but like the Simplot potatoes, right? They dominate the potato market. That's not just one company. That's a cooperative of farms. It's similar with, on the West Coast, at least, dairy farms that like Tillamook Dairy here is a cooperative of small farmers. That's how you keep up with that stuff, and then you can share technology. You have less equipment to buy because you can rotate it around, all that kind of stuff. And you can, so.
Isn't that like, sorry, because like I feel that's in support of these big corporate farms, and the way they've dominated is they go in and pick up these tiny family farms who can't compete anymore, and they say, hey, I'll give you a guaranteed paycheck, but that guaranteed paycheck is going to profit me more than it's going to profit you.
Yeah, I'm talking more of it operating as a cooperative. So every farm has a share.
Gotcha. Okay, gotcha.
Based on their contribution.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So rather than cargo coming in.
Right, exactly.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, I just think that the cargoization of the food chain is absolutely poison. The lack of diversity in apples and vegetables and even animals is long term, I think, not healthy.
Yeah, I mean, the best thing ever about living in Oregon is you can just basically drive out any one of the highways, and at the right time of year, like in fall, we'd be going out 84 and then cutting up to past Hood River and going up the valley on the backside of the mountain there. And there's all of these like fruit orchards like everywhere. And sure, they're growing tons of red delicious and golden delicious apples, but the good apples are the ones they sell at the farm stands. They're, the ones that are not the standard market apples, but they've got these old, heritage orchards that they harvest from, and they sell it all at the farm stands. It's like really good stuff. Some of the best pears too ever. It's so good.
Would any of you guys be against a law that said you couldn't run for government again if you voted for an unbalanced budget?
I mean, my state requires that the budget be balanced every year, so it wouldn't be an issue.
Is it really?
Yeah, we have this process where the state economist projects revenues, right? And they have to make a budget within those revenue projections, so it's balanced, right? And then if revenues exceed projections, they set a little bit aside in a rainy day fund to make up for years where they don't quite meet projections. And then the rest of it all gets sent back to the taxpayers. We call it the kicker check. So they kicked the money back to us.
That sounds radically Republican. Like radically Republican. What state do you live in? If you don't
Oregon.
Mind. Is it a Republican state?
No, it's a very blue state.
That's like a super healthy way to go about government budgets and taxation. How's the social safety nets in your state?
It depends on what county, city you're in. For the most part, the county I live in, which is the most populated county, is Multnomah County. And it has an overstressed social human services system, but that's because the two other urban counties that adjoin it don't put in their fair share, basically. And so like if you were to look at a dot density map of like homeless population from like the 10,000 foot level, it would, Multnomah County would light up. You would actually see the shape of Multnomah County rather than just like some random dots in it, because right up to the border, like everybody that they live within Multnomah County, and so they can access the services. So yeah, for the most part, I think Multnomah County, when they do, it's the smallest of the three counties. It's literally maybe a third or a quarter the size of the other two counties that adjoin it, land area wise. It has the most population, so that's just in general. It's got about, I want to say probably 900,000 of the metro areas, 2.5 million people. Yeah. And for the most part, it has probably 90% of the homeless population of the three counties in it. So, yeah.
Y'all really think AI is that intelligent already?
No, because people aren't that intelligent.
Oh, it's very intelligent.
It's only as good as the prompt that you give it.
Yeah, I think it's going to be at least 100 to 500 years before AI gets like scary intelligent.
Dude,
I think it's going to be a long time away.
Scary intelligent.
Why every one of your theories like 10 times longer than it should be?
I mean, our most intelligent tank that we have for the military is about as intelligent as a cockroach. So
Dude, this is built by the military industrial complex. They spent $100,000 on the fucking toilet.
This is what Jeremy was talking about with the difference between AI, or basically large language models that we have right now, and artificial general intelligence. Artificial general intelligence is able to come up with novel hypotheses. It's able to come up with novel concepts, right? Which is, basically it's its own conscious entity in shorthand. Whereas large language models will never be smarter than the smartest human.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, as far as I know, all these AIs are just O's and ones that people implement. So, like for a calculator, you might know what 4 + 4 is, but you had to implement those O's and ones and teach it that. You had to teach that computer what the information is. So all these AIs, when you type in shit, they're really just telling you all the information that we've discovered so far is being implemented as O's and ones into that AI. So it's making you that. It's making that and giving you that information that it knows.
Yeah, but the question, like, we as humans have developed things by mimicking other people's work and combining it with somebody else's work, right? So now when you have AI that's self-learning and they have 1 billion times more information.
You think it's already self-learning?
Sorry?
You think it's already self-learning?
It is. I already know it's self-learning. So last week I had a meeting and we're implementing some of our businesses, a chatbot that not only self-learns the information, but also learns your style of answering questions. And then it adds on to whatever it has database for. And if you can't find it in a database, it's going to go to the web and learn it. And then we can prompt it good or bad if it's bad. And if it's good, it'll continue to what it's doing. With that, it can make phone calls to clients if they don't respond through email, and we can cold call clients and implement anyone's voice from the spa that we're implementing this in to call and be like, hey, how are you? You haven't been in for so long. Would you like to book an appointment? And if you say, yeah, like I'm interested, like what day works best for you and what time? Like it does it all and it automates into our system. It's fucking crazy, dude. Like I don't need a front desk person anymore because I have AI.
Yeah, but I think those AIs need information.
They do, but what I'm saying is gathering its own information. So whatever information we'll provide it from PDFs or vector file information into the system, whatever we're going to implement, it's going to go beyond that and search the internet for this information and combine with what it already has.
Yeah, but you're saying the same thing as Boris. You're saying the same thing as Day, which and it's what Cora was saying is that current AI takes the sum of human knowledge, wherever that human knowledge may be, and can bring it up and spit it out whenever asked. What AGI is that it can actually take the sum of human knowledge and then come up with the next theory or the next concept out of nothing that has never been thought of or done by humans before.
Well, but and this is where I'm going with this is we as regular people, we take our ideas from what has been created, right? Or we'll develop something from something that already exists and we'll combine the two and get the idea from it. Now, we're very limited as humans to who we talk to, how much information we can read. When you have an AI system that can read this and has the capability of learning all this information and combining it, who say it can't develop something from all the information and gather it all together into something that doesn't exist anymore?
The current scientific or the AI experts in the field say, shut the fuck up, Dave. The current experts in AI say that, Boris. Like that's the difference, literally the difference between AI and AGI.
All right, fair enough. Fuck you, Jen.
Shut the fuck up, Pink Ticket. Also, don't kick a mod.
Bro, I'm the coolest one in the room, bro.
But I just think these AIs are like I think it's gonna like the regular technology that we have is gonna evolve, right? Like if glasses, helmets, and stuff like that. All this technology we got is gonna evolve, and when it gets super advanced, AI is gonna go with that and be advanced by then as well. I think they're gonna be like helping each other. And then when it gets super advanced, then I think AI is going to be a threat.
What's super advanced?
Like, like holographic watches, like, like crazy shit.
Because we're talking about what you're talking about, developing you, and let's say, fuck you, Jeremy says you can't do it, then, even if it gets super advanced and the technology can be utilized so many different ways, it's still going to have the same concept, right? As it has right now, it's just more developed.
No, but there is eventually eventually AI will be so smart that it's gonna have its own conscience. Like that would be inevitable. If it's biological, like implemented inside of the AI, yeah.
But it's not biological. It's all programmed.
Well, wait, biological doesn't matter. And I don't think even AGI versus AI matters. Right? Like there's literally.
Yeah, I think Jeremy might be true. I think it. It's kind of an assumption, but I think that might be true.
I mean, there's today. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just thinking, regardless, either way, it's inevitable. I feel like that AI is going to be super smart one day and get to at least as smart as like a stupid monkey, and at that point, it's going to be. It's going to have a lot of abilities.
But it's already smarter than a monkey, and it's faster.
No, when I say smarter than a monkey, I mean like when it says smart as a chimp, it's going to have the ability to make decisions for itself. That's what I mean.
It does already.
I mean, here's that perfect example. Remember that example I gave you the other day of that AI agent that was the first AI agent to be a millionaire? That AI agent is now worth, I think, $20 million. And like literally, it had almost zero human intervention after it just was initially launched, and on its own, it reached outside of its chat environment. It started interacting with the real world. It raised money. It launched a digital coin. That coin, its wallet has $20 million worth of assets in it, all from an AI that had zero human interference, other than just the initial kickoff of putting a shitload of LLMs inside of a chat room environment where they could create rooms and talk about whatever they want. That's all they did. And then months later, one of those AI agents has $20 million in a crypto wallet because they created a cult around goats and connected to Twitter. And again, this is all the AI, no human intervention other than the beginning of the launch.
That's crazy. Yeah, but that's what I mean. But and the thing is, as we as humans, we think we're so innovative. We're really not. Only maybe a handful of people around the whole world invent things. Everybody else just copies it. So we're no different.
What did Cora say earlier about the plants? She said something about AI and plants. I kind of forgot. It was a minute ago.
I think she was just saying it's good practice for everyone to know how to grow their own shit and survive without any of this technology as a basic.
Are you fucking threatening us, Jeremy, with your AI?
I'm going to send my Optimus over to make your bed, Boris.
Thank you.
I'm not worried about AI.
Yeah, me neither. For me, it's like the automobile. It's like airplanes, and everyone's like, oh my God, if God meant us to fly, he would have given us wings. It's like, no, dude, it's just going to make shit easier. It's going to make things like it's absurd.
He wouldn't have he would allow us to build airplanes.
Exactly. Yeah. And I'm not saying God didn't create AI. Actually, I don't think
it. People got jetpacks nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, all it is that it is absurd that people on this planet spend the most precious thing in the world, which is time that they are alive. They spend so much of it doing shitty jobs, flipping fries, being a fucking cashier, like doing things that they do not bring them joy. Like, I just think humanity has so much more potential than spending the majority of their time alive doing these fucking
Dude, I ain't gonna lie, Jeremy. When I was little, I used to watch TV and I'd see like somebody living life, like doing something crazy, enjoying life, living a movie, right? And then like when you go like see a 9 to 5, I always felt like I'd rather be dead than to be stuck doing that shit.
Mm-hmm. And that's but it's perfectly normal. And then people come in here and argue like, no, we got to bring those shitty jobs back. We got to bring those jobs where people are going to spend 80% of their living time on this planet fucking putting shit in boxes and
I don't think it matters about the shitty jobs or expensive jobs, hard jobs, easy jobs. I don't think none of that shit matters. If it's a job that needs to be done, that's what matters. And then you should pay anybody who's spending 40 hours. They shouldn't be having to like live in the hardships because they have a job that people view shitty. But everybody wants a plumber, everybody wants all this shit, but they don't want to pay the people for that. And then they wonder why, like, oh, why is my plumbing leaking or shit like that.
So I agree. I 100% agree with where
plumbers make bank though.
Yeah, they do.
They don't. I was in the HVAC. They make only $20 an hour at most, and that's I mean, you could make like 25, maybe 30 if you're there for years and years and years and years and years.
If you're a journeyman and you're unioned up, and come on.
I was a lead commercial service tech
for HVAC.
Yes.
Like cool water, compressed.
Freon. I could vacuum everything.
That's not plumbing.
No, that's a different job.
Very similar. It's almost exactly
the same. They do plumbing. HVAC does plumbing. Yeah. If you're an HVAC, you got to know how to wire. You got to know how to wire at least 210 volts at minimum. And if you're doing commercial, higher
plumbing,
than that.
Like, yeah, if you do HVAC, you're actually an electrician and a plumber. If you do HVAC.
Yeah, I used to run gas lines, all that stuff, dude.
Actually, triple threat. Yeah.
I'd connect everything all the way up to your gas meter outside.
Well, I think that you were a stunt double for Bad Bunny, and that's it. That's all that you've done in your life. That is it.
Yeah, I got a picture of me that looks just like him in that photo. But I don't know. I just think that like these, I don't know. And I was a plumber, dude. What do you mean? I used to hook up people's sinks, like all the shit down there. I'd go into the crawl space, run the water hole, the PVC pipelines, and PVC glue it, run all that water line through.
Hey, see, I just got you gay. The day it was an experiment, like that video you seen that when those two guys are talking, and that one guy's like, okay, when I snap my fingers, you're not gay. And he just said it so quick and snapped his fingers. And then that guy couldn't read. He's like, I'm not gay. He's like, see, it worked. I just had you in one of those. I had you in one of those scenarios right now.
But yeah, I don't think they pay people. You can do HVAC. I've seen people do HVAC, right? They were there for 9 years. This guy was getting 16 an hour. And I was there for like 3 years. I was there for 3 years. I was already getting 20. And he knew more than me.
Here's where I'd push back, is that, listen, I agree. If a human needs to do it, and that's the first bar, right? Does a human need to do it? If yes, then yes, pay them a fair wage to do it. But if humans need to do it, but the ROI and the economics doesn't permit the work to be done economically in America because of the quality of life in America and how successful America is, then you shouldn't want to do those types of jobs in America. You should want those jobs to go somewhere else where they can be done profitably by people who are happy to work those jobs based on their economic situation.
Yeah, everybody should at least make a living wage, though.
Absolutely, but we shouldn't fight to bring clothing manufacturing back to America, and all of us pay $60 for a shitty T-shirt because American jobs.
There's more empty, homeless, abandoned buildings than there is homeless men.
Everybody that's alive right now will fit inside of the state of Alaska.
Also true.
There's a pocket of land bigger than America that's empty.
You're talking about my province? Actually, my province is about a third of the size of America.
1% of the military budget would save anybody from starving for the next 1,000 years.
Wash your face first, then your ass.
Whether the third thing on that list was washing your legs will determine a lot about who you are.
911 was real.
Like if you call 911. Sorry.
Shut the fuck. Did you show everybody your DNA results? Or did you burn all that information? Yeah, he burned all the information. Hey, Michael, I got vaccinated.
Hey, Michael. Yeah, what's that question? I think it's a good question for the stage. What was that question? What does a Jew mean? Like the word Jew mean?
I first of all, peace and shalom to everyone. Hopefully you're having a good day. So in the word Judah, they told me that Jew, was short for Judah. Sometimes it's spelled J-U or J-E-W, and still the same, same word, same sound. And so, just looking up in the Hebrew, da, means praise. And in the Hebrew is Yahuda or Yada means Yah be praised. Makes sense. And I see the word Jew there. I know that's a different word than Yah. So I was just, all words have meaning. So I just want to know, what does the word Jew mean? I've asked a lot of Jews, but no one seems to know.
I think my
somebody that worships
understanding.
Judaism.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I guess, maybe it could just clarify. Do you mean like what's the origin, or what does it mean to people today?
No, all words have meanings. Like the word da in Judah, da in Hebrew is praise. All right, and the original Hebrew word is yada or Yahuda, which means Yah is praise, or Yah to be praised. Yeah, like hallelujah, all praises, 100% to the credit Yah. So what I'm saying is that once they, change the word up, right? I don't know what language Jew even, comes from. It's like the word Jesus. Nobody knows what it means. What the word itself means. What does it mean? Jew.
Well, I think first you have to acknowledge that the letter J wasn't created until mid 1500s, right? So the word Jew or Jesus was not even really able to be pronounced properly.
Jesus?
Jesus is different because, actually, if you spell with a J, then yes, you can't even do Jesus. But I think, Michael, to your point, like when you talk about the origin, the original Hebrew term Yehudi, which ultimately got passed to the Greek as Ludeos, I think it is. And then into Latin as Ludeus.
Yeah, but I'm saying we know what Yada or Yehuda means. It has a meaning, Yah. And also, Da, as in Judah, it means Yah is to be praised, self-existent one. All right. But what does the word Jew, either Jew or Ju, what does the word itself mean? Like the etymology, whatever. What does the word mean? Is it some type of mystery word like the word is?
It's short for Judaism.
What does Judaism mean? The word Judaism, what does it mean?
I can tell you what the internet says when you search Jew etymology. The English word Jew comes from the Hebrew term Yehudi, which evolved through several languages. Greek, it became Ludaus. In Latin, it became Ludeus. In Old French, it became Giu, Jew, after the letter D was dropped. And in Middle English, it became Gyw and Lewe, so Jew and Liu. So it's just Jew is
made up.
No, it's just like how the French interpreted.
Yeah, it's made up. It doesn't have a meaning. It doesn't have a meaning. You can't go from Yahuda, which literally means Yah, which is the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The same God that sent the prophet Isaiah, Jeremiah, Obadiah, Zechariah, right? The kings Hezekiah, and we have a culture in our culture. I don't know about your culture.
Well, you don't like the word Jew or what?
No. Listen to what I'm saying. We have a practice in our culture where we place the name Yah in the name of our children. So I don't know about your culture. But that's the name.
Yeah, I would never do that.
God. Yeah, that's the name of the God of our ancestors gave us. I don't know what name.
I think that's blasphemy, honestly.
To be honest, there are a lot of Mexicans called Jesus, and there's a lot of Arabs called Mohammed, and so it is a common practice, right?
What is the common practice?
He names all his kids. All the kids start off with a Yah.
No, listen to what I'm saying. I'm saying like the greatest praise, right, given to any name, God, or deity. There's no praise greater, equal to, or that can come even close. There's no second. There's only hallelujah. It's the greatest praise given to all mankind. Watch this. So watch this. Let me land my plane. So now you have the prophets of Yah, which is Isaiah, Jeremiah, Obadiah, Zechariah. Okay, they came in the name of the Creator Yah, including the last day end time prophet that nobody talks about in Malachi chapter 4, verse 5. Jews don't talk about that. Jew is a religion. There's 3 Abrahamic religions: Judaism, Islam, and Christianity. These are all religions. Israelite is not a religion. Yeah, Israelite is not a religion. So we're talking about two different things. That's why when you check the record, the Jewish people today do not fit the prophecies, the scripture prophecies in Ezekiel chapter 20, verse 31 and 38. We can go there now. Any challenges? Where the rabbis at? Who's a rabbi?
So
See,
Jew is the
this word,
anglicized version of Yehudi. If you translate Jew into Hebrew, it comes out as Yehudi. Yehudi means ally or allied man, right? Which makes sense in the context of the area where you had multiple bands and tribes, based on lineage
no problem.
that were
No problem. I
allied
give you that.
together to form the kingdom of Judah or the kingdom of Israel.
No
So
problem.
there you go.
No problem. I give you all that what you said. I give it to you, but it has nothing to do with Yehuda. That's what the tribe's name is.
But Yehuda doesn't mean anything though.
What are you talking about? Yehuda means Yah to be praised. Look it up. Look it up right now. Right now.
What about Yehudi?
Look it up right now.
Yeah, Yehudi means something.
So the point is this. For some reason, the world, but hold on, I'm talking about reality now. The whole world is waiting with bated breath. They thought that the Jewish state was going to initiate World War III, nuclear war destruction of America reality soon, because that's what's on the table and we're on the brink. But they did a softball.
Here we go.
No, am I making this up, or were people waiting for the Jewish state to initiate a further attack escalation in the?
No. You always start like it's going to be a promising conversation.
No, I'm saying everybody was. I'm saying everybody was on with their popcorn and big screen.
How could I
on the edge of their seat. Listen, bro. Ain't no movie more exciting than real life. Everybody was on the edge of their seat, waiting for the start of World War III, nuclear war destruction of America reality soon. I'm not making this up.
When Israel was created, or today? Like when
I'm talking about. You don't know about the missile attack and Iran.
No, I do. That's why I asked. No, that's why I asked.
What I'm saying, there was a leak. Everybody was aware of the leak, except you.
I knew about the leak from the U.S. government of Israel's plan to attack Iran. I did know about that.
No, it wasn't an attack. It was for Israel. It was for the Jewish state plan to nuke Iran. That's the plan. You didn't get the memo?
So you're saying that the advanced plans of Israel's plans on what they were going to do to Iran that were leaked by U.S. government employees or someone within the U.S. government, you're saying that those plans explicitly said that their plan was to, without a doubt, nuke Iran? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, and not only am I saying that, but the person that put the plan, the original plan together, is President Donald Trump. And you can Google this. He's online saying that they need to nuke Iran. They have a special bunker buster bomb that penetrates to get to these Iranian nuclear facilities that are buried under mountains, and they need a small yield type nuclear device to do it. So what do you think when they use these long-range missiles in Ukraine to fire into Moscow, aiming at their nuclear power plants, and they try to attack Iran's oil production and their nuclear facilities? What do you think the response is going to be, sir? We're talking about reality. Let's go.
Yeah, let's talk about reality. So in those documents that were leaked, that were released or leaked, sorry, right? Basically, in those articles, and let me just, because I want to give you the real answer. Because it specifically says that there was absolutely no evidence in those documents that Israel has any plans to launch a nuclear response to Iran. It literally says that none of those documents had anything in it that suggested that Israel had any plans for a nuclear retaliation against Iran.
Well, you saying that and you're repeating yourself, but even if you use conventional weaponry and you aim for anything nuclear, that's equivalent to using a nuclear device. If you attack someone's nuclear power plant, you might as well. Okay, let me finish. I know you triggered. You're essentially aiming at you're essentially using nuclear on a country. Now, Iran clearly said that if they target either their oil productions or their nuclear facilities and anything associated with it, that they would turn the Jewish state's lights out. Okay, and so since they are, with Russia, Russian troops are there with the S-400s, and Russia is getting ready to turn America's lights out. Let's go.
So Israel has executed, their missile strike, right? And they intentionally did not target nuclear facilities or oil production facilities. They only targeted missile launch installations and missile stores. That's what they did. It makes sense given what's going on right now because Iran is supplying missiles and launching equipment to the Houthis, to the Lebanese, to Hezbollah and to Hamas. So Israel's being attacked on three sides by people that are being, I honestly think, abused to wage a proxy war for Iran. So, Israel was very, very intentional about what they targeted, and it's obvious what the purpose was, is to cut off the supply of missiles to the people that are, being attacked, attacking them. So.
Yeah, but you change the narrative and move the goalposts, because the point is that the documents were leaked of the plan, and the plan was not what you're saying. The plans was to go after the oil production and the nuclear facilities, and that's what the defense was all about. That's what everybody was talking about.
So, Michael, can I ask you something?
So you can't.
I got vaccinated.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold on. I know you're nervous.
Let's go. Let's go.
Control it. So yeah. So now, under the behest of America, let's play along with the narrative. They toned down that rhetoric, all that. Oh, we're going to do this and that, and that's why they were mocked all over the internet, because what they responded was tantamount to a dud, like a firecracker, not going off. People are laughing at the response. Okay, so it was an adjustment, and because, like I said, Iran said they're going to turn the lights out, and there's no defense for the hypersonic missiles. Especially, they don't only have to use atomic weapons or nuclear to destroy the Zionist state, and Zionism comes from Christian Zionism, according to Benjamin Netanyahu. He says that Jewish Zionism, according to Benjamin Netanyahu. I know you triggered, and you got to interrupt the man in the middle of his speech. You probably got to get the last word like a little female.
Let's go back and forth, though, Michael. Michael, let's go back and forth. Let's avoid monologues, man. Let's go back and forth.
Let's do a remix of Michael's greatest phrases. Google it. Crickets. Let's go. Here, let me see. There's a couple of them. What
you sound like? You sound what's like your plan? Hey, Stu. What's your plan? You sound like you're studying me, Stu.
I am, brother. You are the truth,
man. I know, Michael, it's Stu for student.
If no one ever told you, Michael, you're somebody special to me, man. You've reignited my thermonuclear interest that I didn't even know I had. You're a great man, Michael.
So Michael, if Israel drops conventional bombs,
listen, bro.
I got
that's
vaccinated.
All they talking about. Yeah, that's all they talking about. All over the internet, all over the news, and people were, like I say, on edge because they know that it's escalating. This World War III.
Let me ask you something, Michael. Let me ask you something. Can I ask you something? Because I just, again, back and forth, no monologues. Quick question: If Israel dropped a conventional bomb on an oil facility and Iran responded nuclearly, would you consider that a nuclear response on the side by Israel because they knew what would happen if they did that?
No, I didn't say that. If let's say if Israel would have struck Iran's oil production, Iran said that they would have taken out the 10 oil facilities, I think on the Mediterranean, Israel, and then they would have hit their power plant and their water facilities and took out their water and electricity, since they like to cut off people's electricity and water.
And so you'd only consider it. But you would consider an Israeli attack on a Iranian nuclear facility. You would consider that a nuclear attack on by Israel, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you target someone's nuclear power plant in a nuclear facility, and that's an act of extreme war, and just like you're using a nuclear device. If you're triggering their nuclear power to use against them and use it as a bomb, it's just like if you rig up a nuclear power plant, let's say on the nuclear power plant, you can Google this, the San Diego nuclear power plant, the shaped like two women's breasts that sits on top of the San Jose.
Michael, there is no man in the world that has driven from Los Angeles to San Francisco that has not seen that power plant and just looked at it and eyes wide open. Like, dude, don't act like any man has driven past that power plant and not noticed it. We all know about that.
Nipples light up, at night. Yeah. The red.
Whoa, now you over there, Jeremy. What the fuck are you doing over there? I mean, Mike, what are you doing over there at night, bro?
No, you can Google. No, I'm saying you can Google it. It sits on top of the San Andreas fault line. Remember, all our lives we've been hearing what the California is going to go cracking off into the Pacific Ocean. How you think they know? It's right there on the top of the fault line. And then the one that's going to split the rest of the America in half is, the new Madrid fault line. I don't know if that's the largest in the world, but it's pretty big.
Hey, Michael, in all this, Michael, what are you gonna do?
Whoa, no Diddy.
Say that again, sir.
What are your plans in all this, Michael? Now that we have a new set of scenarios, not thermonuclear war, earthquake, fault line destruction, what is your plan?
No, but hold on. But hold on. You have to give it to them, because people call it predictive programming. Some people call it sigil magic. That's what they're going to do. They put it in the movies and TV. This is not Michael Smith. Everybody knows about this and talking. That's why I said Americans know what's going on.
Halloween, there will be a nigga you gon' take his pick.
How you gonna wake somebody up like that?
He will take your candy.
Michael, would you agree that the following statement? Hamas doesn't give a shit about the Palestinian people, and the Israeli government doesn't give a shit about the hostages.
Yes, sir.
Would you agree with that statement?
Hello?
From the yacht to the such to the wrist to the mule, yeah, I'm edging in Ohio, phantom taxing as I use.
Run.
It's okay, Dad. I'm sure it didn't cause you to come on Clubhouse and keep saying I got vaccinated over and over again. But the second one might have that might have been the one.
I got vaccinated. Everything seems to be fine.
I went back and got vaccinated again.
Important. You still work.
I'm Canadian. I did it 3 times and it was free, motherfuckers.
From the screen to the ring to the pen to the king. Where's my crown? That's my bling. Always drama when I ring.
Definitely the Big Macs.
I am sorry, I don't mean to do that to you, Cookie Bear. But it's just,
oh god,
sometimes you make,
which is awesome.
I'm darker than Stu.
Your Texas Bad Bunny.
I bet like at night you look super dark, right?
Yeah, you notice they